Good morning, everyone. I hope that your Saturday has started wonderfully for you. I just thought it might be a nice way for my Pilates people who traditionally do a Pilates class on Saturday morning to maybe jump on live and check out my class this morning. It's a 45-minute class. Those who are a little bit new to Pilates, you guys are also so very, very welcome to join in. One thing I will suggest that if you are a little fresh to Pilates, just work at your own level, work at your own pace, know where your limitations are, and always come back to, and I'll explain it in class because I always do, come back to neutral. Okay, come back to the very, very most basic of all poses, traditional of the Pilates method. I am going to attempt to use some props today, just a small number. I know not all of you have them. However, I've got some modifications and some variations that you can use for it. For example, if I suggest us to use the band, if you've got one, go and grab one. And I'm going to give you plenty of time to do that because I will have a very quick chat with you first of all. If you've got perhaps if you've got a ball or even a Pilates circle, okay, you've got those at your disposal as well. I won't go overboard with them because I know not a lot of people do have them. But I'm going to give you again some variations or some adaptations that you can use for it. So here's my adaptations to the TheraBand. Go and find that you can maybe loop around your foot, such as I've just grabbed a tea towel, or even a long like belt, okay, that you'd use. Pretty much it's like our yoga straps. Again, that can loop around the legs. So don't stress if you don't have these pieces of equipment. The other thing that I'm going to suggest if you don't have, and I know you don't always have these at your disposal either, but some of you might, the trusty balloon can be very, very helpful. So it replicates the same idea as a ball, blow the balloon up, and then you can use it in exactly the same capacity that you would use a Pilates ball. In not all cases, because obviously these guys are burst proof and obviously are designed for stretch and weight in. We're about in this world now about being adaptable and being able to change with the times. And I know you guys are doing a fantastic job of doing that. So go collect any resources that you need to. I'm going to have a quick chat to you about being adaptable and about change. I was watching a Facebook feed this morning from Elizabeth Gilbert. You might know her as our Eat, Pray, Love lady, or she most recently wrote, she wrote a book called Big Magic, which is awesome if you ever get a chance to read it. And in Big Magic, she mentions a lady called Winifred. She was a 94-year-old lady. She said she was the most amazing woman that she'd ever met. And had friends from all walks of life, from 20-year-olds to 40-year-olds to 60-year-olds to 90-year-olds. And she asked her, what surprises you most about the human race? And she said, what amazes me most is that they are so adaptable. And she thought that was a really interesting thing to say. But now in reflection today, she says, she was just absolutely so very, very right. She said to me, you know what? If Martians landed on the planet today, it would be off the front newspaper by next Tuesday. She said that's how much we roll with things so quickly, and it's like water off a duck's back because the next day there's going to be something new come. She said it's the most amazing thing. The human species can adapt to change so swiftly, more than any other species on this planet. So in saying that, we can adapt. We can use balloons for balls. We can use straps for. So the more that we can become adaptable, I think the more we're going to accept the change that's coming our way. So let's get to being adaptable and flexible, and we'll check out some Pilates along the way. Oh, if you love some music, go jam to some of your favorite tunes. Go chuck Spotify on your little Bluetooth number. I will show you my Spotify account. So how I'll do that, I'm not sure, but I'll jump onto Facebook and I'll show you how you can access it and you can get it in my music. I grabbed some great stuff when I was away. from some amazing people as well. So it's nice to have a bit of a repertoire of music whilst to do this as well. I'm going to start to stand. I'm hoping that, this is my lounge room. So what I'm trying to do for you guys is get you to see the real me. This is the world that I live in. You know, I'm as raw as anything. You know, I speak my truth. And I really want you to see how my life rolls and how things are in the Thornthwaite household. They were told to be quiet, though. I can rest assured you that. So there are some rules. Let me stand up. I'm hoping that this is super new for me. It only took me about half an hour this morning to get this working. So I've wedged myself back up so hopefully you guys can see my head. Pilates always starts with 3 roll downs when you're ready to join me. We're going to go chin to chest and head on down. Keep the knees soft. Let go of the neck and the shoulders. Head down towards those ankles before you stop for me. Take a breath. Exhale, you'll head back up. Now, this is a really slow movement. Our intention here is to begin to warm up the spine. At this time in the morning, we certainly haven't had 6 or 8 hours. Back's going to be quite stiff, as it always is first thing. Regardless, simply because we haven't had that. You'll pull back up nice and slowly for me. Always remember that the shoulders will come up way before the head. It stops us from feeling dizzy as well, but it obviously sinks when you're ready. As we head on down towards feeling a little bit of stretch perhaps in the back of the legs. Inhale from into the upper back, you're getting ready to come up on your exhale. And whilst I bring you all the way up, can I also say to you that everything that I've got on Facebook at the moment it is accessible to any single person. So if you want to share this or you want to send it to your friends and say, hey, jump on board, do some yoga, please, this is an opportunity for us to get this community back into and gyms and all the rest of it. Now, let's bring it to their home. Let's bring it to their workplace. So do your friends a favor. Let them know that they're here. We get to go down to the floor. This is where Pilates always starts. When I talked about finding neutral spine and neutral pelvis, this is where we're going to do it. So find your way down onto your mat. And guess what? If you don't have that, no big deal. Okay? Just sit on the floor. Like I've got like tiles here, so I could be on that or I could be on a rug. Your feet are going to sit hip width apart and you're going to rock the pelvis forward and back. Here's one suggestion I would give you though: don't do this lying on your bed. It's probably not. You need a further. You could be on the grass. You could take this outside. Yesterday I saw a lady when I was standing on my balcony and she was on the grass area doing her exercises. Do this inside. Just people like me have to. Alrighty, between that flat back and that arch back. So what you want to notice here is that we've stopped this idea of the ribs flaring up towards the ceiling. This is me flaring my ribs. You can see this massive big arch underneath my back. Now when I contain those ribs, that rib cage is now onto the floor, but I've kept this gorgeous little curve that's so typical of me in my lower part of my back. Okay, so that's pretty much what we call neutral. I'll also give you another cue. So some people say, I really don't know, Leesa, if I am in neutral. Make a little triangle for me out of your fingers, so thumbs together, pointer fingers touching. Place that onto your pelvis. So it's here where my pubic bone, they call these your ASISs, they're just the top of the pelvic rib, and my pubic bone's down here. So if I put that to this position here, in my mind, I'm trying to imagine that my triangle is like a spirit level, okay? And would that spirit level be level? Would it be parallel towards the roof? Would the little bubble be right bang smack into the gauge where it needs to show that we are level? And given that, I think to myself, yeah, that feels, it's not going to be perfect, but life's not perfect. Alrighty, I'm good to go. Let's take a big deep breath in. And on your exhale, you're going to start to activate these deeper core muscles. I want you to imagine there's a little string behind your belly button and just softly pulling it down. And then you're going to let it go on the inhale. Those who already know what they're doing, get going for me here. Maybe you go and activate a little bit more. You go and do a oblique work. You go and do a little pelvic floor number for me as well. Work to the level that But all I'm doing here is I'm internally contracting these tummy muscles, and then I'm letting them go. I'm tightening them, I'm letting them go. You'll see that I'm not moving my legs, I'm not moving my hips, not moving my legs. This is just this tightening of the tummy muscles, boom, and then letting those tummy muscles go. So this is what we call activating the transverse abdominal, or activating or switching on our core. Very next movement we take is an exhale to tilt the pelvis back. We then lift up nice and slow. We tilt the pelvis from our tailbone. You will peel very, very slowly away from your mat. At the top, take a nice big deep breath in. And you're heading down for me on your exhale. So you want to feel each of those tiny little vertebrae imprint themselves back into the mat. Keep this tailbone up for as long as you can. Through, boom, find neutral, take a breath in. We're off again, exhale, tilt the pelvis back, lift from the tailbone, peel, slowly engage that core. We breathe in here. Get ready on your exhale to head back down, navel towards it. To grip or clench those glutes or those legs, but try the belly a little bit more. Good. Let's go one more in moving, and then I'm going to make us work a little harder. Remember, keep moving in your own rhythm, in your own pace. Exhale as we head back down. Okay, here we go. We're going to make it a little more challenging. Tilt back, peel away. Now I'm going to hold us up here. If I keep you here for too long, you know you always come down. So I'm in almost like a bridge position. The soles of the feet are going to press down into your mat, but you're also going to pull them towards you. Okay, so feel what happens when you pull these heels towards your bum, and you should feel those hamstrings automatically switch on. Okay, they're fired up, they're working, and now you've got a little bit of glute activation there as well. Okay, so this is super good for backs and a little bit of booty work as well. That seems to be really popular at the moment. A whole heap of stuff working on those bums. So stay here, breathe in, exhale, go back down. When you find neutral, it should be like an aha moment. It's like, yes, those hammies are having a rest. That's your prep breath. Yeah, exhale is your working breath. Chill back, peel away. Get ready to pull those heels in towards those glutes or in towards your armpits. Sometimes I say, and hang out here for me. Okay. So when I hold you here, you're going to keep breathing. Last thing we want to do is hold that breath. So you want to come back in, check in. Am I inhaling? Am I exhaling? As it gets a little tougher, yeah, that breath's going to want to change. Okay, you're going to want to be tempted to hold the breath, but we know we're not going to go there. You're going to head on down for me. Exhale. There's going to be a sense of relief coming at the end of it. Yeah. That's good. Can we do this as a single leg? Right leg will lift. The left leg will stay on support. I had a look at the video last night, and I actually think I need to tell you, we call it mirroring, but I wasn't quite sure how this comes out. But, so, you're going to raise your left leg. Let's see how that goes. So, ideally, I will have got the right leg for you, because this reverses when it goes onto camera. Yep. Inhale. So much to learn. Exhale. Head on down. Breathe in. Hang out there. Get ready to go again. Exhale, tilt the pelvis back. Can you pull this right heel into your bum as well? Good. Exhale, head on down. So we are really asking this right hamstring and this right glute to kick in and start to do some work for us. Good. So that's number 3. Let's see if we can get 5 of these out. If I'm tired now, I would go back and put that right leg straight away back on that mat. What can sometimes happen to a lot of people is if the hammies are really tight, your hamstrings are going to want to cramp on you. Okay, you'll just get immediate grip. So that's 5. Let's see if we can get out 5 on the other leg. Right, left's on the floor, right's elevated. Tilt the pelvis back. Pull that left leg in towards us. Up we come. Inhale. Good. Exhale, heading on down. Inhale. Get ready again to pull that left heel in towards your bum. You are up. Hold it there. Inhale. Nice. Exhale, head on down. 3 more to go. Tilt back. Pull that left heel in towards your bottom. Hold it there, inhale. Nice. Exhale, head on down. You only have 2 more to go. All this pelvic curling is pretty much there. So it's a really great warm up for that back. Definitely feel those legs warming up. We gave a bit of a stretch in those roll downs, but really having to work. Good. Perfect. Head on down. Nice work. That leg softly goes down. And I'm going to say softly because I don't want you to thud. Yeah, let's think about Pilates as having some control rather than just, I call it, rather than flopping and dropping. We get to take ourselves into a chest lift from here. Scoop those hands behind the back of the head when you are ready. Make sure you're back into neutral. Give yourself that little seesaw check. Am I there? Maybe imagine I've got that triangle on my pelvis. Take a breath into prep. As we exhale, we're going to pull it on up. Now my back hasn't, like my lower back hasn't jammed. I haven't tilted it back and flattened it into the floor. I'm still in neutral. Breathe in. Exhalation, head back down. Breathe into prep. Okay, that gets my breath going. Exhale, boom, navel to execute the movement. Inhale at the top. Nice work. Exhale, head on down. So you also want to think about that control, re my legs. Yeah? Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe into prep. Breathe out, curl on up. Breathe in to stay there. And breathe out as we get back. Nice. Let's get 2 more of these out. It's all about me just rounding off, not jamming my lower back. Bring the hands when you finish that last one back down by your sides. Take a breath out to raise the right leg up. Breathe in very softly, lower that right leg down. Think for me, toes, ball of the foot, heel. Watch as we switch to the other side. Raise the left. Lower the left. Again, toes, ball of the foot, heel. Change sides. Try to start to notice here, we talked about that no movement here in this pelvis. So when I raise the leg or when I lower the leg now, have I done this little, I call it like a little boom boom down the end? Or am I able to keep that pelvis very, very still as I exchange sides? What we're trying to do is literally train the pelvis to stay very, very stable. The more stable a pelvis, the less pain, less problems, shall I call it, in the back, in your back muscles a lot, particularly things like lower back. The pelvic stability, really, really important. You'll hear people say that they've got, SIJ, sacroiliac joint problems, or they've got pelvic instability, and that affects their backs. So come up on the exhale, lower down on the inhale. Really simple. Okay, but very, very, very effective if you're engaging all the core muscles. Pilates is not rocket science, okay? It's all very simple, controlled movements. It's about you making sure that you basically use all the right muscles. Let's connect the upper body to this as well. So can we combine a chest lift with a leg lift? Exhale, leg lift, chest lift. Inhale, head back down. Okay, watch that little boom boom that happens. Yep. Exhale, lift the right leg. Inhale, lower back down. Good. Lift and lower. So let's say, for example, I'm finding that adding that leg lift is just too tiresome for me. I could keep going back to just my chest lift, or I could just go to my leg lift. Remember to keep listening to your body and hearing what it's saying to you, whether or not is it fatiguing, is it tiring? And I'm going to give us one more right and left here. Okay, control the movement. Exhale to lift. Good. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Let the head take a moment to rest. We're going to add on here. Again, you don't have to lift this right leg for me. You can certainly and lay the right leg onto the floor. We'll add a twist. We call this the hula. Leg lifts, leg lowers down to the floor. Left leg lifts, we twist to it. Inhale, it lowers down to the floor. So we're just to the other with this twisting action. And the shoulder does lift away from the floor. Yes, it does. But I'm not doing this flat back and then jamming into the back, or am I bringing the knee into my chest? Again, keep reminding yourself of it's quite elegant Pilates. There's no sort of rough and toughness to it. It's smooth, it's controlled. It's all about stacking. It never comes any closer than being over its hip. Let's go one more each side. Last side will be over to that left. Return back to the floor, hands back by our sides. Every time you get back down to changing into that next pose, go back and just check. You know, I always do. I confirm, yep, I am back in neutral. And I'm then ready to execute the next movement. We'll go on a spine twist, side to side. Go back and float the right leg up. Prepare to float the left leg up. Bring your legs together. Inhale, take them out to your right. Exhale, bring them back to the center. Inhale out to the left. Exhale back to center. So if you think about it, it's a pendulum that's moving side to side. Again, you can see that there's precision, and I guess that's another wonderful word associated with Pilates. All the movements are quite precise, so they're not like there and pull them back, or like you can see that every movement has accuracy to it. It's about how to really control our movements. Trying to let momentum do the work for us. And therefore what I'm doing is I'm engaging all the right muscles. I'm not trying to ask any sort of secondary to come in and help. I'm really focusing on here, in this instance, my side abdominal muscles, my internal and my external oblique muscles. So we go from one side to the other. I'm going to give us one more out to that left-hand side when we return back to the center. Some people might like to park it here and continue to work. Others might like to just bring the knees into the chest. It's your choice here. I'm going to keep talking to you, so you're going to either work here or you're going to rest it out. To add on to this, we'll make the legs a little longer. So when you go out to that right-hand side on the ear, keep the two legs, pendulum number we were talking about, back to 90, then return back to center. When you go to your left, it's an inhale, and then we take that double leg extension, come back to center, and return back. So you're going to stay with that for a couple more. Keep thinking how those inner legs have a magnet between them, and they're pulling them together. That's how we get the floor. Pelvic floor muscle is a part and parcel of what I call the whole umbrella of your core. And if we haven't got those double legs extending, we know all too well that we're just hanging out in our two legs staying bent. Awesome. How about we get one more out each side? One more right, one more left. Nice. The last side. And I'm going to be really nice. Let's go knees to chest. You probably need a little break from here. If you want to give yourself a little rock, sometimes a little circle can be nice, just to give that lower back a bit of a massage. Good. And then return the knees back in towards the center. Very slowly, once again, we get to control these legs back down and into the floor. We're going to move on from here. We're going to come up into a sitting position. Some people might roll over to their sides to come up. If you feel like the core is strong enough, you might rock up for me. Oh, there ain't much room here. Once we get up to sit, we are aligning the feet with the hip. For example, you are able to access your balloon, or you've got a ball, go grab it. I'll use my balloon because I'll show you that I can do. Let's say you can't even find or access that. Just grab something else that's a little bit soft. I'm going to suggest like maybe even, so here's where my balloon's going to. You could even grab like over here on my lounge I've got. The idea here is to get the concept of what it's like to bring these two guys together, this pulling in together mechanism of therefore activating this inner thigh muscle. Initially, we're sitting quite upright, of which you can do. The more angle that we place on the spine, the more challenging it is to keep and to maintain your core. So here, not so much ab work. Here, a little bit more, and I can start to feel as I inch back, a lot more core is required to keep me stable. Otherwise, I'm going to end up doing this. You'll see me. I'll round my back, a lot of my belly strength here. The spine being as long and as soon as you can, hold it there. Whatever I've got here in between my legs, it doesn't matter. You're going to give me a squeeze. So you're going to press, 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 press. And I'll move my hand so you can see me pressing into the ball. And I'll always say to you, it's not important where these hands are. So if it's here for your chest, or if it's at your fingers, or you might need these little, we're now going to call these little mangrove fingers, that's okay. The idea here is using the inner thigh, pressing and releasing. Again, not important whether or not you're using a balloon for me, you're using your Pilates ball, or whether a soft cushion, or something that you can get what I call this biofeedback. You can in, and maybe there's some resistance for me as I do that. Let me bring you here for another 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great. Curl back up, release the balloon or whatever you might have. Grab that mechanism that you might have, be it your tea towel, or if you're blessed enough to have one of these. I heard a story, because that's all I get to hear these days from friends, about how no store or Woolly, Big W or Rebel has any gym equipment, things that went off the shelf. So that being the case, let's get that we can use in order to still do exercise and not let that be an excuse, because there are no excuses not to move, even if you are, like me, confined to a couple of rooms. All right, this goes around, you come down nice and slowly to bring us down towards the floor. We have here, use this strap or my belt to curl and help me, because I'm pulling on it if I need to come back up. Now there's going to be, in some cases, where people don't necessarily need a lot of help. So your grip might be very, very, very light. My suggestion is that we come down, but you definitely need that exhale to help and assist to bring us up. So connect into the core first, curl, pull. I can loop my fingers through the buckle. Inhale there. Use as much of the belt to assist, connect into the core. And we are up. How about we get another 2 of these out? Head on down. Head on up. You got 1 more to go for me. Inhale to head down. so loving, we're going to head over to the other side, the stories that I'm reading of people sharing their experiences doing classes. Like people saying, oh, I got the boys to come and do it. We all sat in the lounge room. We had a go. I got my husband on board. Everyone was curious. It's so beautiful. Oh, it gets tough as you get towards the end. I always the thing we can do is to share. So to share with people what you know, because inevitably they're asking similar questions. I think we have 2 more. Most of you will know I don't know how to count. I can't count much more than above 5. I get lost. Awesome. We are up. We're there for the time being. We are going to take a twisted action here in this seated position. So we're going to rotate side to side. If, for example, you did have a band and you want to make it a little more challenging for your body and you're up to it, you might know how to use the band this way. Okay, so just go access it. If you can get any equipment, I would definitely suggest, I don't know where you get it from. If anyone knows of anywhere and they're found somewhere, maybe you can share it online with us. But it certainly would be helpful. I know that they're not expensive, the domestic versions of them are. We call this spine twist. Sitting, one arm will stack on top of the other. What you want to still and that they're stable, that they're not jerking forward and back here. To my pelvis. This is about us moving through our thoracic. Again, I'm not, okay, you need to be comfortable, but all I'm doing is I'm twisting to my right and I'm going to twist to my left. Twist. And you'll notice that the legs aren't moving. The legs move. Maybe we've gone too far, or perhaps that we need to go refocus on, is it my thoracic that's rotating here, which is what I'm trying to do, or is it my hips thinking I'll do these really big movements? So twisting, squaring up, twisting, squaring back up. Exhale to twist. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale to twist. Inhale. Nice work. Let's get one more out each side, one more. After that, the arms. Go back and either that you were using that you have between the legs. No matter what it is, the idea is, can we press in and do the same action? So the more here that we start to, these fascially to the core. Through my hands, you'll start to notice that the core begins to become active and the core will start to switch on. Let's do 3 more using the ball. You'll twist back to your right and you'll give me this press. You might feel how the belly pulled in as we pulse. Come back to center, inhale. Left with a little press again, back to center on your inhale. Rotate on the exhale, double pulse. Keep going. So even, let's say I did not have anything at all. I'm shadowing the same action. And literally, it's as good because I'm actually feeling that I'm pushing into this imaginary ball. The idea and the concept is still with us. Press. Center, inhale, twist, press. I think I'm going to give you one more again. Counting, not my strength. Good. Hands back down by the sides. Let's roll over onto our sides. We're going to do a little bit of work. We're on sides at the moment, so let's stay with it. You're going to roll and rest. yourself a little bit of room here. We can find neutral when we lie on our side. And the best way to do that is to the hips are literally stacked on top of each other. Sometimes, depending on what movement we're doing, I could even suggest that you back yourself up into a wall, and that would stack your top hip above your bottom hip. You just want to watch that you don't end up looking like this, or you're not like this. Little mangrove hands can certainly help us out. Take the top leg, we lift it, and it's going to sit the same height as your hip. And then inhale, we're going to lower. So we're going to breathe out on the lift. Inhale to lower. Lift. Lift and lower. With a double leg lift, maybe you can try that. You will notice a huge difference when you try to add that underside leg. Trying to squeeze that inner thigh together as well as those two legs go into lift. So you can see that I'm relatively stable and I don't necessarily need that hand onto the floor. My body's not moving other than my legs lifting and lowering. But if it does want to do this, it just means that our core is not quite ready for us to lose that extra bit of stability of having our mangrove fingers here on the floor, and that's okay. But you might think, you know what, I can just do one finger. And that's called progress. So we've gone from this to this as this gets stronger. And I is really beginning to contract as I continue to lift and to lower these legs. Take the legs to stay legs in part. One will go forward, one will go back, and we'll go there again. This is a prime move. Do this on you. Yeah. Okay. Stack hips. Control the scissor legs here. Nice. I can already start to feel, and you guys probably can too, how this waist is really getting fatigued. Okay. It's hard here because it's having to hold these legs in this elevated position. Let's get another 4. Some people will take, I call this the T position because it comes out from that side. We've got 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Feet together, legs down, jump the top leg over the bottom leg. I'm just looking out there to that most amazing day here in Sydney. Hope you guys get to go outside and enjoy the sunshine. Vitamin D, hugely important for building and strengthening your immune system. Go get some sunlight today. Turn the toes up, top leg lifts and lowers. This is for that inner thigh. Again, roof. And we get those adductors, the inner leg muscles fired up and working. So I learned something interesting when I was away about vitamin D. So that because we had a whole heap of Ayurvedic doctors there, we had a whole heap of naturopaths, and they were saying that whilst we get a lot of vitamin D on, we really need it is on the white part, so the inner arm and your belly. It's a place where we don't vitamin in the abdominal cavity, so in the like the large and small intestines. So you have permission a little bit hand, or at least get some vitamin D. Inside thighs getting really fatigued and tired. And when you're ready, we'll do 2 more. We're going to head then to clams. So a little bit more of that little butt booty work, bring the legs together. Okay, so again, do I know I'm in neutral? Yep, my knees are literally stacked above each other. Do I know I'm not in neutral? My top knee is hanging behind. You can see that my pelvis has jumped itself on a bit of an angle. So you'll always know that you're in neutral here by those knees being stacked. Let's go into elevation on this one. Ankles are elevated and the top leg opens away from the bottom leg. You can make it a little more challenging for yourself by not doing that flop and drop, by just keeping the knees slightly apart. You can also make it more challenging by getting that squeeze action here at those heels. So squeezing the heels as we open and close the legs. Awesome. Let's get another 5 out here. So we really should feel a burn, and if we're not, that's okay. But if you actively squeeze at that top phase of this, you'll really start to feel that significant amount of control and active work in primarily glute med. Good. So again, as you get to that last few, you can really begin to feel working and how fatigue will set in. Last, open squeeze, close the knees, ease the heels down. There's an aha moment. And the other side. Let's head over. Second side. We know what we're stacking hips. You can see me. The stacking top leg is going to lift, lower back and hover above that bottom leg. So that gentle here. Use as much help or support as you feel comfortable with. And know that we're focusing on these obliques, these side abdominal muscles. Rather than trying to fatigue our glutes. Okay, so sometimes I'll just say to you, look, you know what, this guy here, the leg is insignificant. It's really about what leg is what I'm saying. Do you want to go double legs? If you want to, then off we go. Lift and lower the 2 legs. Little mangrove hands if we need to. Now, I haven't said hello to you because I can see you in the distance. Supposedly the rule says doing is 3 meters away. So I can see these little green icons up. So there's a whole heap of you on, which is absolutely awesome. So hello to you all. I haven't called you out by name, but I can see all these little green comment things coming up telling me that you are here with me, which is very comforting, I can tell you that. It makes me realise, because I have it's just how much I miss it. Even if I am teaching to a screen, I'm still with you. Good, one more. So as legs get to go down, and we will top leg over bottom leg. Remember those adductors. Let's say, for example, keep slipping away from you, and you do need a bit of flexibility. Hold it. Think of that bottom leg turning up, down here. I hope you've got something gorgeous planned for outside today. Socially distancing yourself from others, but it's pretty magic out there. So we start to feel how that inner thigh hard and firm, which obviously to us means that it's working. So take 4 more. Then we get to go into those plans where we get to use those glutes again. 1 more and we're there. Knees and elevation for clams. If elevation finds the too tough in the glutes, just put the feet down. It's all right. You can do clams like this. We also want to just check out that we haven't let those legs come back and touch. We still want to feel that we've got that full activation of the glute muscles. We're almost there. I'm definitely going to give you a stretch after this one. So you'll get a nice little glute stretch. And back work, because Pilates is about, so a lot of people just think that Pilates is all core driven, and whilst it is very dominated about using, also to strengthen what we call our big muscles, which are things like shoulders, and obviously the inner legs and the glutes, because the glutes come up and stabilize our pelvis. The inner thigh comes and stabilizes our pelvis. And all these back muscles stabilize our shoulder girdle. So with all of that, then ideally, in an ideal world, we will have nice, will be posturally correct. Awesome. Close down, lay on your backs. You'll be happy that I've finished all the glute work. So the leg you were just working on, leave it on the floor. For your very first leg, cross the ankle. We'll reach through and we'll hold on. Now I know that not everyone can get access to this leg or this shin. So if I still got to say something around, I could hook that over my ankle, over my foot, and I could use that to help me hold on. I could even do it with one hand and I could wedge the other leg. Not even come up near a wall. That could be is to try and soften down these glutes. We just worked in plans. You might have seen in my yoga class this week that I talked about pulling the toes back in this one. That's to activate what we call a bundle or a lock here in this joint, because if you ever feel pull on your ankle joint, we strengthen the muscles to support the ankle, because again that's obviously needs to be quite a stable joint. We do that by pulling back these toes, and that switches on these leg muscles. Change sides. So toes back, press out through the ball of the foot here. He works away, legs get pulled in. It'll give us a bit of a relief as well. I think I might give us a reverse curl as well. One little challenge towards the end. And I'll give you some back work. If knees to chest. Tight hug. Now, whilst we've got this knee to chest, that's why I'm going to give you this reverse curl. Hands softly go onto the floor. Reverse curl means that this part reverses and comes up. So our normal curl. Now the lumbar is going to curl. So it's like a little rock. Come back down. This is using your lower belly muscles. There's a gentle swing, but try not to let it be like a real fling. If we can isolate abs here and get them to do the work. And I can really feel how that lower belly is switching on to literally lift my tailbone up off the floor. Take 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go back to knees and chest. Very last thing I'll send us over to do will be some back work. If you're ready to flip over, find your bellies. A quick flip. And we'll start with hands underneath the forehead. Give yourself a little wriggle. Can I feel the front of my pubic bone gently pressing onto the mat? Okay. Therefore, if that's parallel to the mat, then the back of my pelvis will also be parallel to the mat. In other words, I just don't want to see my bum up in the air, and I don't want to feel that there's this big dip going on in my lower part of my back and compress into my back. So the way I can stop that from happening is making sure that the front of my pubic bone is parallel towards the floor. Sometimes shoulders creep up near the ears, so we're going to drop the shoulders away from the ears. You'll take an inhale and then an exhale. So we want to see this work coming from our back as opposed to me trying to lift my legs in this instance. So can you soften your legs, your hammies and your bum muscles? And can you really just lift and drive this through your upper back? Whenever we go into a back extension, you're going to inhale to lift and exhale to lower, inhale to lift, exhale to lower. Perfect. Let's get 2 more of these guys out. Hold the last one up. Reach the arms out in front. Bring the hands back underneath the forehead. Lower back down, inhale, lift. Again, nice, long, straight arms. Back to forward, head down. Till when we're there, inhale. Exhale. Inhale forward, exhale down to that mat. And you're there. Awesome. Good. Hands behind, hands underneath this chest. Lift up. Sit it back. Wriggle your bum to your heels. Press back so you can sit deeply into your heels. So it's an active child's pose. Head relaxes. Good. Hands and knees, toes under. Head back. Very slowly unravel for me here. That back end of a roll down. Yep. Let's take one more. I'll bring myself more to that front part of the mat. Inhale. Chin to chest. Exhale. This is where we nod. We say yes. Yes, that was a good class. Yes, I'm so glad that I took a class this morning. Because whatever happens now, you've done everything you need for your movement of the day. As you go side to side. Come back to center, breathe in. Good. Now, can you use your belly one last time? Draw your navel into your spine. The show is not over just yet. The show's not over until the fat lady sings. I'm not going to sing for you. I am the worst singer. Though I do like to sing. Well, you've lost my head. Here I go. Pilates for Saturday morning. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Do me a favor, do something else for yourself today, something that brings you great joy. Shine, talk to your family. I'm going to learn how to draw a man. You might have seen on Facebook, I've been posting my days of isolation. So yesterday, awesome. We had a Zoom party with all of my girlfriends, my 9 girlfriends. We looked like the Brady Bunch. It was so much fun. We had a glass of wine in hand, and we just talked rubbish, as we do, chitter-chatter. And the 40 minutes went fast, and then it all just died, and we all giggled because our little time was over. But we do it every Friday. We have Friday friendship. So do something wonderful like that. It's a great way to stay connected to your friends. I've seen people host dinner parties on their Zoom. So stay connected. It's super important for us, honestly, at this point in time, guys, to stay as part of a community, and a community that supports us. And I love so much about our Pure Yoga, both our Pilates team and our yoga, is that we are like one huge big family, and it really shouldn't matter where we are. If I'm in Australia or you are, we can always stay connected. We are all in common. And for me, I am so grateful for you guys supporting me and staying. You'll have received emails as well about what's going to happen as of next week to keep your yoga practice. Pilates will get another email a little later on to confirm everything that's going on with that. But stay with me. I need you, and I'm sure that you guys really need to have some beautiful practice in your life. Awesome day. Go and enjoy it. Thanks for being with me. I'm going to now learn how to draw a mandala. I'll keep you posted. Namaste.